Good afternoon, everybody. I want to confirm if you can hear me. So, if you can hear me, please can you just type I can hear you in the chat? As if you can hear me. If anybody can hear me, please. Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Okay, that means every one of you can hear me. So, we are going to start the class. So, the course is EIA 513 Cyberpreneurship and Cyber Law. So in this particular class, it's just a brief introduction to what we are going to be considering. That's the course outline. Then we are also going to be introducing entrepreneurship. So what entrepreneurship is all about. And I've muted every one of you because I don't want noise. So uh, in case there is a question, please just type it in the chat. So I'm looking at the chat right now. So in case anybody has a question, please just drop it in the chat. Then before I start, there is immediately after this lecture, there is a quiz on Moodle, a 2 minute quiz. So it's starting at exactly 3:40 p.m. Then it will end by 4 p.m. So basically what we are going to be, there are 12 questions and it's just 2 minutes. So immediately after this class by 3:40, please log on to Moodle and do the quiz. So the quiz is going to form part of your continuous assessment. So you don't know which one I'm going to use. So it's just better to do all the quizzes. So inform your mates, those ones that may not be aware. Just try to text them that there is a quiz going on immediately after the class by 3:40. So we are going to start. So this week is just about introducing what entrepreneurship is all about and giving you a guideline to what we are going to be doing in this course. So what is entrepreneurship? So entrepreneurship is all about bringing resources together to create value. By resources, it can be monetary, it can be financial, it can be human, it can be material resources. So it can be time, it can be effort. So just bringing all the resources you have at your disposal to create value. And by value, it can be economical value or social value. So economic value can be in terms of creating value to the entrepreneur himself, like giving him more money. And it can be social value in the sense that trying to add value to the society. So not every entrepreneur wants to have monetary benefit. Some of them may like um, to create value to the society, improve the standard of living of others. So that's what entrepreneurship is all about. So it's all about bringing resources to create value. And it came from the French word entreprendre, and it means to undertake. And the first mention of uh, so the first mention of uh, entrepreneurship was given by Richard Cantillon. So Richard Cantillon, first of all, mentioned the word entrepreneur. So he he talked about entrepreneur by considering So you talked about entrepreneur. You talked about entrepreneur by considering the life of Marco Polo. So Marco Polo, what he did was that he traveled to the Far East and he traveled to buy silk and tea. Then he traveled back to his own country in Europe and he sold the products he bought in the Far East. And at that time, it was very, like in the 16th century, as at that time, all the market was about the farmers market. So people sold dairy products, they sold food items, they sold um, agricultural products. So there was nobody really selling anything like processed products like silk or tea. So he innovated in the sense that he brought a new market into what wasn't available at that point in time. And it involved a lot of risks because he had to use his own money to buy those products from the east, and even the money, the cost of traveling down, and he had to invest a lot of money, and he's not even sure if, because as at that time nobody was buying all those products he went to sell. He went to buy from the east and sell in Europe. Nobody was doing that. So it involved a lot of risks because it wasn't sure if people are going to even buy the product he's selling because it's very new, it's innovative. And he also, because because he used his money to buy this product, so he wasn't even sure if he was going to recover his investment. So he made use of backers, so venture capitalists, and they made an agreement in which he's going to give them, the venture capitalists or his backers, they are going to give him money to buy the product. Then it's going to, part of the profit it makes, 75% of the profit will go to them. So it will go to those people that are giving him money, his backers, while the 25% of his profit belong to him. So that was the first mention of the word entrepreneur, and it was described by Richard Cantillon, giving the early observation by this man called Marco Polo. So there are three perspectives of entrepreneurship we are going to be discussing in this course. First of all, the mindset of an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is a thing of the mind, meaning that are you willing? Are you willing to take risks? Are you ready to take risks? Do you really have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? It also, in this course, we are going to be considering the events. We're going to be considering different entrepreneurship journey, and we're going to be considering the events at each stage of that entrepreneurship event. Then all these two processes and is going to be joined together and is going to form the entrepreneurship process. So this is are the three perspectives to the course, and this is what we are going to be considering. So you might be wondering that, is entrepreneurship really for me? Like, am I really ready to be an entrepreneur? So a study was conducted by Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, and it was reported in Global Report. The study was conducted in 2014, and they did an analysis of entrepreneur activity rates in different regions. And from the graph here, you can see different regions: Africa, Asia, Latin America, Europe, North Europe, and um, North America. So you can see that you can see that, and it cut across different age group. because um, they wanted to know um, if entrepreneurship is just for some specific age group or not. And they the different age group were 18 to 24, 25 to 35, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, and 55 to 64. So you can see from this figure that those people that are entrepreneur they spread across different age groups. So this shows that entrepreneurship and is for everybody, no matter if you are young or if you are old. Another thing to see from the graph is that Africa has the highest proportion of entrepreneurship activity that is going on compared to other regions like uh, non-Europe and European countries. So you might want to think about the reason why this is the case. So it's just interesting to note. Then this study is still the same study. So um, they analyze data for male and female early stage entrepreneur activities in different regions. So it's still the same region that was considered in the last slide. But in this case, they separated out the male entrepreneurs with the female entrepreneurs. So the male is the one in green, while the female is the one in red. So you can see that on the average, the proportion of male and female entrepreneur is kind of the same on the average. It's just that male entrepreneurs are slightly higher than the female entrepreneurs. But on the average, you have like approximately the same number of males and females that are into the entrepreneurship journey. The only thing to note is that in North America, this proportion of male to female is slightly higher. So the difference between the male and the female entrepreneur is higher. So there are much more male entrepreneurs in North America compared to Africa and other regions. So this shows that entrepreneurship is for all ages and it's also for all gender, whether you are a male or a female. So we need to really distinguish between what it means to be an entrepreneur, a technology driven entrepreneur, or what is self-employment, because the difference might not be so clear. So entrepreneurship is based on innovation, creating a new product, creating a new service, the one that has not really existed before. So when I started, I made mention of Marco Polo. So he decided to buy some products and sell it in an area that they don't even know those products exist. So it's like a a new innovation, a very new thing coming into the market. But self-employment is like an already established idea, an already established business, and you are just trying to create a variant of it. So the self-employment doesn't involve innovation, but entrepreneurship involves innovation. And self-employment is it majorly has to do with um like retail stuff, handcraft stuff, but entrepreneurship has to do with innovation. Then when comparing it in terms of competition, self-employment is it has destructive innovation, while entrepreneurship there is um, there is no healthy competition, because in a case whereby like maybe you are setting up a restaurant and the restaurant is like is self-employment, is not entrepreneurship, because it's something that everybody is doing. There's nothing new in setting up a restaurant. And if you have a restaurant and another person is established another restaurant near you, the person may just want to lower the price of the things he's selling so that to attract more customers, and it may and in the process the value of what he's selling may reduce. So it's not really a healthy competition because it's competing at a rate that is not really very good. It's not a healthy competition at all. But in entrepreneurship, since it's something very new, since it's something very innovative you are introducing, the competition is much more healthy. Then in terms of product life cycle, in self-employment, like there is no, you cannot observe any product life cycle because it's something that has been done and over and over again. But in entrepreneurship, there are different phases, different life cycles, which we are going to be considering in this course. And in terms of growth and employment opportunities, self-employment is limited, and there's like a omnipresent founder that sets the tune for what has to be done. So anything the founder says, that's what is going to happen, even if it is right or wrong. But in terms of entrepreneurship, there are lots of huge potential. It's not only one person that has a say. For instance, when the internet when the internet came about, like it was like it gave the opportunity for diverse things. Like it's through the internet that a lot of businesses they sprang up, like Amazon, um, and online services, online sales, online online delivery services, and there was like even e-learning. It sprang up as a result of the internet. So entrepreneurship, technology-driven entrepreneurship is not limited. It has a wide scope. It may just be something little that you innovated, and it has like far-reaching potential. So that's basically the difference between uh, entrepreneurship and self-employment. They are very different. So how do technology-driven innovations, how did they start? So they start through technology transfer programs at universities because most modern universities they offer a lot of technology transfer programs that encourages entrepreneurship and encourages startup, encourages innovation. So most startups, most technology-driven startups, they started from the universities, and another way, another origin is from large corporations and research labs. So, for instance, they a company like Google, they have employees because they encourage innovation and they encourage their employees to start up a company. So a company like Google has a lot of baby companies under it, which started from the employees. Companies like Moon, it's a spring off from Google, and a company like Alphabet X is also a spring up from Google. So large companies and also research labs in universities, they are a good origin of technology-driven startups. Then individual inventors on their own, they can just come up with something in their garages. So you've heard of people like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, where they started small, they started in their garage. So it doesn't have to be a garage. It's just like because you don't have as a startup, you don't really have much money to rent a very big company to start up. So basically in your own room or in your own basement, you start up an innovative idea. So so this we've concluded the introduction we are going to be doing in this, which is the topic for today's lecture. So we move on to the overview of the course. So in general, what are we going to be doing in this course? So we've talked about entrepreneurship, which I just said right now. So I said entrepreneurship is all about bringing resources together to create value, and it's different from self-employment because in when you're an entrepreneur, you are innovating, you are bringing something very new into the uh, you're bringing something new that has not existed before, or even if the stuff you are bringing in is in existence, you're bringing it into a place or into a region where they don't know about it. So that's entrepreneurship. Is about either creating a new product. That's innovation. Innovative driven entrepreneurship is about either creating a very new product or creating a new market for another existing product. Then what we are going to be um, so instead of 5 weeks, we'll break it down into 5 modules because each of the module we may not be able to cover it in a week. So basically, we have we have 5 modules. So the first module is what is entrepreneurship. So which is just what we So the first module is about entrepreneurship. Then the second module is identifying and evaluating business opportunities. Like I said, entrepreneurship is innovation. So you should be able to identify opportunities because it's a very, very new thing, it's a novel thing you are bringing. So we'll discuss about identifying new opportunities and identifying technology-driven opportunities. The third module is entrepreneurial marketing. So you need to be able to sell um, your idea or your product to customers because once you've created the product and there's nobody to buy it, then you've just wasted your time. So in marketing is selling yourself, selling your product to customers. So module 4 is about raising and managing money. So you need money for to start up. So when you initially start, you need some funds, and eventually throughout the process, the entrepreneur process, you need to um you need money in order to sustain yourself, and even after that you have to make money to profit from your innovation. Then the last module is the venture. It's about the legal aspects of the entrepreneur. That's venture capture and profiting from your innovation. So, how do you protect your idea? How do you protect it? How do you profit from it? So, we'll be discussing about that. So, we've already said the difference between self employment and entrepreneurship, and identifying and evaluating business opportunities. So I already mentioned it because in the entrepreneurship journey, you are not just doing something that's already in existence. Like you're not like maybe uh, creating a new secondary school because there are many secondary schools. There's nothing innovative about that. Like setting up a restaurant or setting up a salon, it's different. But a way you can innovate, like for instance, if you're setting up a new restaurant, a way you can innovate is probably you introduce a new cuisine or a new type of food that probably in your locality that kind of food is not really sold. So it's not really sold and people don't eat it. So if you set up a restaurant and you're just like selling like the normal foods that people eat, that one is not in innovation, that's not entrepreneurship. But if you set up like a new variety of a new dish that is so different and nobody in that particular area has ever tasted that dish before. That's innovation, that's entrepreneurship. So we'll be talking about how to identify opportunities because it's those people that are alert to opportunities that can really innovate. Then marketing. So marketing is about connecting your product, your offering to your customers. So because like there's a saying by Peter Drucker that the purpose of a business is to create a customer. It's not actually to create a product because once you've created the product and nobody buys it, then you have practically just wasted your time. So that's why marketing is very important. You need to allow people to know what you have, what you are offering, so that they can buy it and you make profit. You will not run your business at a loss. So it's about market segmentation. That's setting up yourself in a way that people will perceive you this way, and the marketing mix, so the different distribution channels. So raising and managing money. So money is very, very important. So in the startup phase, you need money. You can either use your own money, probably you've saved, or through your family and friends. But in the next stage, which is the first stage, you begin to start producing and you begin to do some marketing so that more people will get your product. So your own funding may not be, may be limited. So you might probably need some venture capitalists. So we'll talk about all of those. Then in the third stage of financial expansion, you may actually want to expand production. Maybe after marketing, lots of people have known your product, so there's more demand for it. So you might probably look into banks and IPOs to give you money to expand your business. So the last model is venture capture. That's profiting from your innovation. So this involves different things. It's about protecting your ideas. For instance, you might have an innovative idea, but probably you don't have the money to start up. So you can you can protect your idea. So we call it intellectual property. So you can just file a patent in which the idea is registered in your name, and a patent will allow you to sell your idea to another person in which you'll be recognized that you are the inventor, and a proportion of the profits accrued as a result of exploiting that idea will be given to you. So it's also about creating value capture and partnerships. So um, getting partnership with others. Probably as an individual, you have an idea on your own, and on your own you are limited, probably in terms of finances or some resources. But when you partner and you engage in partnerships, you'll be able to expand. And it also has to do with the legal aspects. For instance, the product liability. For instance, if you have a product that is like you have a product, probably is an engineering product, and it caused harm to somebody, probably because of your product. The person suffered an injury. Then, what are the things to consider? And also pivoting. Pivoting is like changing direction from what you initially started up with. Because, like I said in the previous time, entrepreneurship is like it gives room for expansion because it's not just like you are starting a new thing and you don't really know the next what people can even do with your idea. So it's not like self-employment where you're just limited. You don't All the things you can do is just limited in scope. But in entrepreneurship, it's vast and it's incredible what can be done. So we'll talk about pivoting, then growing and scaling, because that's an essential part of entrepreneurship. So this is the end of the class. So basically, this class was about introduction. So introduction to uh, entrepreneurship, and also a brief overview of what we are going to be doing in this class. So like I said, so the meeting is rounding up. So if there are no questions, like I said, just rush down to Moodle and do the quiz. Like your continuous assessment has already started. So you don't know if I'm going to use the quiz as part of your continuous assessment. So just review the notes. It's uploaded on Moodle. Try to assimilate all I've try to assimilate what I've just talked about, and try to do the quiz. So it's just common sense. Even if you have not read the notes, if you just have an idea of what entrepreneurship is all about, score very high in the quiz. So um that's going to be the end of the lecture.